Hello, and welcome to My Point of View Movie Reviews. Today's review, back in 1996, a very small film by Spike Lee hit the big screen, Get on the Bus. And essentially, this movie was about, back in 1995 in October, the Million Man March. Like I said in videos previously, that black people called hell in the 90s. And this is based around the Rodney King beating, and black men had to come together, take responsibility, and be better for our families. And the Minister Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam put together the Million Man March. And essentially what this movie is about, these men all gathered in the South Central Los Angeles and got on a bus, the Spotted Owl, and drove all the way 3,000 miles to Washington, D.C. to take part of the Million Man March. And one thing I like about this film so much, Spike Lee just did this on impulse. It was nothing planned. He was moved by the movement and said, you know what, I'm going to do a movie about this, and a group of 20 brothers that experienced something. And the opening of this film is shocking. You see all these dark, black, naked bodies in chains, just like the slavery days. That it would cut back and forth to showing dark bodies again, but they were tethered in handcuffs, back and forth showing slavery handcuffs. And it was a powerful opening. And there's a beautiful song by Michael Jackson called Put Your Heart on the Line. It's a beautiful ballad written by Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. And man, I remember back in the day when this movie came out, it had a slamming soundtrack. I bought that bad boy on the first day of release. But the cool thing about it, it had Earth, Wind & Fire, it had Blackstreet, Stevie Wonder, you had D'Angelo, you had a Tribe Called Quest, Dougie Fresh, Guru. Everybody was on the soundtrack. But that song by Michael Jackson was not on the soundtrack. I was like, man, come on, Mike, you did is dirty, brah. But man, it was a slamming soundtrack. And this movie is so powerful, man, because the Million Man March, I never seen anything like that in my lifetime. All these men coming together, no violence, no problems, marching on the steps of D.C. at the Lincoln Memorial, showing brotherhood, unity, love. Man, it was beautiful, man. And Spike Lee captured that in this movie. And it's not about the Million Man March, it's the journey of these 20 men getting to the Million Man March. You had every type of brother on this bus leaving from South Central. Light skin, dark skin, young, old, Republican, Democrat, gay, straight. Every type of brother, Muslim. It was an incredible story. And one young brother, he was going to school at UCLA. He was doing a documentary for his film class. So he was documenting the whole trip as it was taking place. And once he got every single person alone, he would do a small interview. And it's very captivating because everybody has a different reason why they're going to the march. And Spike Lee directed his ass off on this. I love this film. It's touching, it's moving, and the film opens up with great music. You know, the bus driver said, hey, what's a bus ride to DC without James Brown? They start playing some James Brown, Papa Don't Take No Mess, and the bus is moving, grooving, and jamming. But you notice this one father and son duo. The father has his son in handcuffs. You're like, what the hell is going on? He said, look, I have a court order to have my son tethered for 72 hours. He had a court order in his hand. Everybody was looking at him funny. He said, look, stay out of my business, man. My son broke the law. This is what I have to do, and I'm doing it. And everybody had something to say about it, but he was like, look, stay out of my business, and I won't get in yours. So it was tension on the bus. Then when they found out two of the men were gay, people were tripping off of that. One man was a thespian, so he was an actor. He just landed a role with Denzel's Washington. So, you know, he had all these different personalities, man, on this long bus ride. And the bus hit a ditch. You had a black African driver driving. And how it works, when a bus breaks down, the driver have to stay with the bus. So they ordered another bus to come pick them up. Because, you know, they paid for these services. The next bus had a white driver. Matter of fact, he was Jewish, actually. And everybody had a problem with it. Everybody was giving them threats and talking crazy to him. And they get halfway. I think they made it to, Arkansas. Then they made it to Tennessee. He told the other bus driver, yo, man, I ain't going to make it, man. I can't be on this bus with all these black dudes. I am a little prejudiced. Don't mean to be, but I just am. And driving all these black men to the Million Man March, it's like you driving a bunch of white men to the Klan rally. He said, I can't do it. So the other bus driver said, okay, because you needed two bus drivers to make that long trip. He just did it himself. And one of the members on the bus was an 18-wheel driver, so he helped him out on the way. But so many things happened along the way. You had fights. They would go to certain restaurants like in Tennessee, surrounded by white hicks. You thinking, oh, here's the part. They're going to get called the N-word. Some stuff's going to break out. Never happened, man. The nicest white people in the world. They was talking about rodeos and cowboys. They was teaching them about, there used to be black cowboys in the West. Man, a lot of beautiful stories along the way. And the soundtrack, again, is throughout the movie. It's beautiful. It's touching. And for me, I love this movie because Spike Lee just said, you know what, I'm going to just do this on impulse. And that's what I like to do. Sometimes I get an idea in my head and I just shoot it. You know, you shoot the movie, you add the dialogue in later. And those are some of your best works when you just do it on impulse. The more you think about it, the more critical you become. Sometimes you got to freelance to have fun. And this movie needs to be seen by everyone, but especially black men. This movie is powerful, it's riveting, it's necessary, and it's a part of history, American history, black American history. Get on the Bus by Spike Lee. Some people might find it slow, kind of boring. It's not an action-packed movie, and 90% of this movie is shot on a little-ass bus. So, yeah, it's not a lot to be desired in a cinematic way, but it's all about story and dialogue, which Spike Lee is great at. And they run into all kind of characters, all kind of things happen. And in the third act, they finally make it to D.C., all the way from South Central, and there's a tragedy. And it's not so much about the march anymore, it's about the tragedy. And it will just break your heart. Because you learn to fall in love with these men on their journey. I remember controversy came out about a lot of black women are upset. How come it's about the men and not about the women? And you know, behind every good cause, there's always some kind of controversy. And this is nothing different. There was controversy behind the Million Man March. But I remember watching it on TV. Here in Sacramento, we had a small march down in Oak Park to celebrate the Million Man coming together. And then it was beautiful to see, man. It was beautiful to see. If you haven't seen Get on the Bus, give it a watch. Right now it's on Netflix. A Spike Lee joint. You know, brush up on your history, your American history. This is a great cinematic experience with a strong, strong message. So in the meantime, be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down low. Peace. As always, yo, it's just my point of view. Hello. Now, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Without you, there's no me. And do us a favor, stop by the website at www.blacktastic.net and pick up some merchandise. Get yourself a hat or pick up a t-shirt. It's things like that that help keep the channel going. And also, feel free to leave a donation on the home page at www.blacktastic.net. Thank you all so much. Again, you make this so much fun. Without you, there's no me. Until next time, see you later.